Good morning. This is an installation for KoiBeginner.com. I don't know if you can tell I'm tired, but I am. Actually, I was working on my pond yesterday. It's not really a pond, it's a container of water. I wanted to look at some goldfish. I got shabunkins, sarasas, and a couple of very small koi, and I'm setting that up right now. And it kind of, in going through the process, makes me think of a lot of container grown fish that people have a tendency to do when they're starting out. A lot of people get preformed ponds, which are fine. They're very cool, good starting point. And then they kind of wonder stuff like, how do I set this up, make it work real well? So kind of as I go along, let me give you some points as a beginner setting up a small facility. I would have one recommendation, and that is make your facility at least 300 gallons. At the smallest, maybe with no koi, would be the 180-gallon Laguna preformed pond. Make sure you support it real well, bury it. That one is not possible. You can put brick underneath it and all, but there's one side that'll bow out, so you probably want to set that preform in the ground. There's a lot of digging. So what I did was a 300-gallon Rubbermaid stock tank. They're beautiful. Not. But you can surround it with the paver stones, and it looks pretty good. So basically, you want to do a minimum of 300 gallons. Great. Second thing I wanted to bring to your attention is you fill it with water, right? And you cannot wait to put fish in it. Don't be in a hurry. Right after the water goes into the tank, it's going to have chlorine in it. It's going to be very low in electrolytes. It's got no mojo, no nothing. It's just raw water, and it has a tendency to stress the fish out pretty bad, unless you can pump the water from another pond or whatever, and that brings some mojo with it. So don't be in a rush to populate. In fact, I would probably get my plants in there before I put any fish in there. Let it run with air stones for a couple of days, and then put my fish in there. And when you put the fish in there, just put one at first. See if it lives for 24 hours, kind of a biological test in case something's bad wrong with the pH or whatever. One fish for starters later. So don't rush to populate your pond. Okay, next thing I want to cover is bioseeding. I'm not going to go into great detail because there's another video here on bioseeding, so you should look at that. Bioseeding, basically taking the squeezings from another pond or another filtration system you can borrow from a friend or whatever. You do run the risk of bringing in disease organisms, but it works great. So look for the video. You can go to KoiBeginner.com and scroll down, and one of the first videos you'll see is bioseeding. It's a little bit more thorough in its detail. So bioseed, bioseed works great. Second thing, when you're running your pond, I don't care what kind of pump you got. I don't care what kind of filter you got. I don't care. You want to get 2 air stones. 2? All right, they make these pumps. There's a Tetra Deepwater is great. There's one from, darn it, it's green. It's a big pump, and it has, see, the thing is they have 2 ports on them. And what's cool about that is each of the 2 ports has a diaphragm. So as you're going along, if one of the diaphragms craps out, the other one keeps going. Now, here's the reason. Think about this. The air stones bring water from the deep to the top, which is great. But if your pump fails, you still have water movement. Okay? So you want to have 2 forms of water movement, and then even within that, if you could get a double-barreled air pump, it would be great, because that way half the air pump could fail, and you still got the other half. And I love those big, round, ball-style air stones. I might upload a picture of one. I've got 2 of them over here in this tank. They're just enormous as far as air output. In fact, I'm sure I'll upload one on Koivet.com sometime really soon. So 2 air stones, very aggressive air stones. Pretty important. Okay, last thing I wanted to cover. When you're setting up a beginner pond, I really do think you should put a thin layer of gravel, because it supports microorganisms that the fish like to eat. It supports microorganisms that purify the water, like Phylodena. It sustains a certain amount of plant life. Thin layer of gravel, I don't know, an inch. Makes cleaning the pond a little bit harder, but it has biofilm in it, which purifies the water. Basically, beneficial bacteria live in that gravel, and as long as it's thin enough, then it is just beneficial bacteria, not anaerobic bacteria. If you go with 4 to 5 inches, big mistake. That's not good, and there's no design that calls for that. So I would go with a little bit of gravel, thin layer, and then finally an armload of Anacris and about 5 hyacinths floating on the surface. Wait about a week, you're ready to stock. Thanks a lot. I'm going to set this here. This is the end of the video, but I'm going to set this here because they truncate my videos all the time, and I'm just going to add about a minute to the end of this. If that gets truncated, then it doesn't kill the video. Thank you for your attention.